Joining us live now is the Treasurer, Josh Frydenberg. Treasurer, good morning. So disaster payments are ending, but is it wise to strong-arm the states in a fight you know you can't win?
Well, we're backing Australia's plan to reopen in a COVID-safe way, and we want to bring to an end these lockdowns so Australians can get their lives back. As you know, Pete, currently we're providing about 1.5 million people across the country with the COVID disaster payment. It's the equivalent to spending more than $1 billion a week. It's a $750 payment based on the number of hours of work that have been lost. And at 70%, rather than being a recurring payment, these individuals will need to reapply on a weekly basis. And once we get to an 80% double dose vaccination rate in a particular state or territory, that payment will come to an end, but there will be a 2-week transition period. This is in accordance with the national plan, and it's a way to ensure that our labour market can continue to operate more freely.
Yes, but might some premiers be inclined to slow down vaccination rates now and keep borders closed in order to keep COVID out so payments, if needed, can continue?
Well, if state premiers and chief ministers decided to slow down the vaccination rates, they would be incredibly counterproductive. And in fact, they would be culpable in damaging the good health of their citizens. And I don't think they would do that.
Well, it's slowing in WA.
You know, unthinkable. It's unthinkable that they would do that on a considered basis, because it would be definitely ill-considered to do so. The key here is that vaccination rates are rapidly increasing, and the 70 and 80% targets are now in sight. And both Victoria and New South Wales have laid out a plan to ease restrictions at those vaccination rates. So we want to encourage them to do so, but we also want to ensure that lockdowns can come to an end and people can get their lives back in accordance with the national plan agreed at National Cabinet.
OK, this is going to affect New South Wales first on current trends, but unemployment and underemployment still very high, particularly in western parts of Sydney. So isn't this just going to drive up anxiety?
Well, as I said, there's a transition period, and we're telegraphing well ahead of those dates what is actually going to occur. So that will give some certainty to people as they can start to plan for their futures, as well as for business operators and owners. And the idea is to have the business support payments also transitioning in accordance with that national plan at 70 to 80%. But what we've seen previously, Pete, is that the economy has been remarkably resilient. Our labour market has also been remarkably resilient. The unemployment rate today is at around 4.5%, a 13-year low, but there has been, as a result of these Delta outbreaks and the subsequent lockdowns, a large number of people who have been stood down on 0 hours. But history shows us in this pandemic that once restrictions are eased, people get back to work pretty quickly, and we're hopeful that that will happen again.